Hello and welcome, my neurodivergent friends and family, to this week's episode of Somatic Care for Neurodivergents. In this episode, we are going to talk about interoception. That is something that a lot of autistics and ADHD people have trouble with, and that is the ability to sense things, the messages that your body is giving you. At the end of the video, stay with me, we're going to have 3 actionable tips that you can do to help increase your interoception, and I'm going to explain to you how your interoceptive messages from your body are training your brain's response to certain situations. So first, what is interoception? It is your body's ability to sense the messages that you are getting. Oftentimes, if you're neurodivergent, if you're autistic or ADHD, you may not realize when you're hungry. You don't always realize you have to go to the bathroom until you have to go to the bathroom. And those are lack of interoceptive communication. So your body's signals aren't necessarily transferring to your brain as quickly as they should, or maybe through the pathways that they should. That does not mean that there's anything wrong with you. And because your amygdala has been trained to respond to the messages that it gets from your body that you receive from different sensations, it can be trained to receive those messages differently. I'll give you an example, and this may be a trauma-inducing example for some, but if you, say, grew up in a household where there's a lot of arguments, a lot of yelling, and a lot of screaming, your body learned through that language that it picked up in your childhood that when people are loud and people are angry, that it needs to brace itself. So now, as an adult, when you hear someone else arguing, or you hear it on television, or you yourself are about to get into an argument, your body, your nervous system is sending signals to your amygdala that it needs to brace. It needs to brace for conflict. It needs to brace to protect itself. And that is a deeply embedded message that you can't always just talk yourself out of in the midst of a trigger. What we can do, however, is increase our interoceptive awareness and start to retrain those signals that our amygdala is getting, that these things aren't necessarily indicative of danger, and that we don't need to brace our bodies in whatever way that may be. Your body may brace by tensing. You may brace by immediately going into a dorsal vagal freeze state, like shut down. There's various different ways, and everybody's nervous system is different because everybody has picked up different messages and your amygdala has interpreted it different ways. Interoceptive awareness is something that most people have and are able to feel and sense those things in their body fairly easily. Sensations of hunger, sensations of going to the bathroom, things like that. However, if you are autistic or ADHD in some cases, those signals, again, might not be getting the right message across, or they may be delayed in processing, just like we delay processing in communication. We delay processing with communication in our bodies. But learning to actually sense when these things are happening, taking a moment to interpret them, and making sure that the message that your brain, that your amygdala is getting is correct, are ways to increase that interoceptive awareness. Increasing your interoceptive awareness helps you to stay calm in situations that may dysregulate you. And when I say that sensations inform your amygdala, I don't necessarily just mean touch. It could be bright lights, loud noises, certain smells, or tastes. These are all things that your body has sensed sometime in the past and has trained your amygdala that, oh, when I smell vanilla, that means somebody is mad at me. Maybe mom wore vanilla, and that was a memory that your brain encoded that when mom was angry, you smelled vanilla. That can be all kinds of sensations that train our bodies and our brains to be reactive. And if you're neurodivergent, again, those signals can be very intense and they might not always travel the right pathways. Learning to stop yourself in a moment of trigger and wonder where that trigger came from. Noticing the sensations that affect you. These are how you start to retrain the amygdala that your body is safe. and it's okay. Just telling yourself that you are safe constantly is not enough, because those messages are still flooding in through all of these different pathways. And the words don't match the feelings that your body is giving to your amygdala. So what are some actionable ways that we can retrain our body's interoceptive senses? Simple things that you can start doing every day to help build that self-trust and that sense of safety within your own body. One thing you can do is to create more awareness around the sensations that you are feeling. Each day, you are taking in tons of information. And if you're neurodivergent, if you're autistic, you are probably taking in so much more sensory information than the average brain is taking in. But we tend to, as a coping mechanism, as we age, as we move through life, we tend to kind of dull those senses, dissociate from our body. We're very in our heads all the time. So bringing yourself back into your body little bit by little bit, we don't want to do this all at once because it is kind of a shock to your system, is one way to help retrain those interoceptive senses. So what you could do is get a notebook and carry it with you. And when you have extreme sensations that cause nervous system reactions, you will know what a nervous system reaction feels like for you. If it's that tensing, if it's that shutdown, whatever the case may be, write that down. What was happening at the time that you started to feel dysregulated? Was someone yelling? Did you smell something familiar? Did you feel something, taste something familiar? Was it an environment that reminded you of something? And start to make the connections with the sensations that your body is feeling and the messages that your brain is receiving. So the first step is awareness. The second step is training your brain to reinterpret those messages. If you are getting the sensation of bracing when you hear people arguing, one thing that you can do is remind your body through touch that you are safe, that you're okay. This is a safety hug. You can do that very easily. Or you can take your hands, place them on your heart center or around your neck. These all remind your body that you are here, you are present, you are listening, and you are safe. So step one is identifying those sensations. And this may take a long time. That might not be a one day and you know everything kind of thing. Give it some time. Really be curious about the sensations that appear in your body. Step two is reminding your body that you are safe through safe touch, safe interaction with self. This builds not only interoceptive awareness, it builds self-trust, which is something we are all so desperately lacking. And the third thing you can do to increase interoceptive awareness is increase your movement. Move more throughout the day. And I don't just mean go for a walk. I mean move your body, stim, shake, flap those hands, stretch your arms, stretch your toes and your feet, move your hips, and then feel the sensations. How does it feel when you drop into your body? Do you feel more connected? Is it scary at first? Does it bring sensations of fear for you to place yourself in your body? And really start to analyze how the movement of your body affects the thoughts and sensations that you are having as far as regulation of your nervous system goes, and what things are triggering that dysregulation. So really, these three steps are to help introduce you to your interoceptive senses and to help kind of come into your body more and reassure your brain through your body that you are there and you are going to take care of yourself. You are going to respond in ways that promote safety and self-trust. And one big thing you can do to promote self-trust is to make it a daily practice. The more often that you can do these things and recognize these sensations, the more familiar they will become. Thank you for joining me today. I really hope that you enjoyed this week's Somatic Care for Neurodivergents, and I hope that you'll join me for next week. If you have not watched the first episode of this on psychosomatic illnesses, how the brain and the body coordinate with each other, please go check that out now. I'll put a link in the description box. And as always, I thank you for joining me. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoy this type of content. And I cannot thank you enough. Stay regulated, stay healthy, self-trust. Number one thing. That's what we're working on building. Self-trust is more important than self-love, because if you don't trust yourself, you can't love yourself. So learning to come into our bodies, trusting the sensations that we feel, and trusting that we are there for ourselves, that we can regulate ourselves. That's how we come out of a state of constant nervous system dysregulation. So again, thank you for joining me today. It's been my pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Okay, love you, bye.